Hey, hold up. Before you try to crunch on me like Halloween candy. Welcome back to another episode of Wonderful Precure. We are officially in the finale. It's really going down now. Oh, I'm just trying to keep it together. This is our second to last episode, episode 49. Let's just get into it. Oh, I have feelings. I have thoughts and emotions. Here we go. We immediately start off with the epic flashback of Subaru hanging out with Gao. Now that we have all the truth revealed, we can see them genuinely and just see that level of like love and camaraderie. We don't get much, but we do get that sense, and I think this is such an important parallel for the finale, and one of the reasons why I like the way they handled antagonists for the show, especially since I feel like other seasons of Precure have kind of had that disconnect between the protagonist and the antagonist. There's so much about this relationship with Subaru and Gao that absolutely mirrors Komugi and Iroha. So I'm so glad to see the parallels, the camaraderie, the love, and it's a good episode. Buckle in, it's a good episode. I even like this moment where we see Subaru have a bit more of this kind of darkness in him, more of this anger, and having Gao have Gao has always been this character that's like, hey bro, I don't support that. I don't support these angry feelings. You need to like calm down, bro. I like that, especially since Subaru ends up being this kind of foil character for Iroha, because Subaru does have this passionate love for animals, but at the point where he can't get past when negative things have happened to the animals that he loves, and doesn't really see a resolution for those solutions outside of absolution, and that's a lot of shun. But nonetheless, we get this quiet, cute moment of finally getting to see these two genuinely, and it's sweet. And it really solidifies the direction I kind of thought the story would go in, which is that the relationship that matters the most with our villains is ultimately Gao and Subaru. In the meantime, our girls are knocked out as we always are in our finales, and we have Komugi being the one to wake up first. I like that when we resurrect the rest of the team, they all have, like, their Precure power is kind of what's bringing them back. That's, like, awakening all of them. I think it's cute because you see Yuki's collar glowing even though it's real itty-bitty, as well as, like, the cat's pact with Mayu. We have the reveal for what Subaru's intentions really are, what he's trying to accomplish. Because before it was just, like, and then he made a garden, but, like, he kind of, like, yeeted all of the animals, so not much going on there. But he ultimately reveals that what he has done and what he has built up for is trying to get enough power between the diamond and the mirror stone, which are like still vaguely the same thing, but not quite sure what's up with the lore on that, but whatever. Maybe we'll get the mirror stone back next episode. But he ultimately wants to revive Gao. And apparently he's tried this before. But he's like, well, now that I have the Nico diamond, which this does tie things back together, because I was like, why did he attack the Nico garden that's so out of his way at the top of the show? But he reveals that he really genuinely wanted the Nico diamond power, because maybe that combined with the mirror stone would actually accomplish his goal. And then it was just like a little bonus that everybody turned into evil eggs and that he could torment humanity. But once the mirror stone is like, we ain't doing that, he shatters it. And we're like, there goes the mirror stone. In my mind, I was like, now all of them are handheld size. Now all the pieces can transform all the people in the town into cures. Like, I'm just saying, like, it's more portable this way. Like, if we had to get the mirror stone back to the garden and, like, combine it back with the diamond or something, since it's allegedly part of the diamond, something along those lines, it's now far more transportable. I think Subaru did us a favor, but that's just me. Anyways, we also had, like, Nico lying. Like, girl sat there and said, you can't resurrect people with the power. I'm like, are we sure? Can we only resurrect them with the power of evil? Like, he took a part of the diamond and resurrected Zakuro and Torame. Like, at the end of it, like, she does follow it up with, like, you're living on borrowed time. And I'm like, that's all cool and good. But you're not telling him the real reason why Gao did not show up when he tried to wish for Gao to exist. The reason why Gao is gone is because Gao is elsewhere. He ain't coming back to life because his spirit is hanging out elsewhere. He's a little preoccupied, aka kind of like chilling with Komugi. I don't know where we're putting that metaphysically. I don't know if like he's hanging out in like the wonderful pact that Komugi has. Like, I don't know what the science is on that. It's one of those things where you're like, it's a kid's show and we don't think too hard about it. In the meantime, speaking of, like, not thinking too hard about it, I was, like, very emotionally invested in him being like, I did all this so I could resurrect my friend. I feel like that was a great lineup. And then he's like, oh, I don't have enough power, so I'm going to shove the Nico Diamond power into myself. And I was like, and like this whole sequence is like, kind of cringy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, ooh, okay. But then I was like, it's a kid show, so I'm gonna not complain about it. And then he has this really ugly final form where it's like, oh, it's also Precure. Because I forgot that we get really clowny with our final bosses. Like, this is feeling like a genuine first, like, 10 or so seasons of Precure kind of final boss. Because it's looking real clowny here. I was like, ooh, this is uggo. I was like, this is not intimidating. It's just this guy is clearly playing Infinity Nikki and wearing whatever outfit pieces score the highest. You know what I mean? And we have Friendy doing what Friendy does, trying to be like, you're not accomplishing what you're supposed to be. You're literally injuring everybody. Like, this is not right. And the thing that matters to me about this scene, no offense to Friendy, is that I really feel like she's too close. Like, being the foil to Subaru, I was like, I do not want her to be the one that really reaches him. I don't want her to be the one that convinces him to do anything. For two reasons. One, Friendy has gotten a lot of screen time. I think a lot of us can agree that Friendy has gotten a tremendous amount of screen time and has been a huge focal point in the series. So that's part of the reason. I'm a little like, you know who's also a main character? Kamugi. But aside from that, I also feel like she is somebody who has kind of experienced the same things as Subaru, but ultimately walked a different path, you know? And I feel like because she's chosen the path that she has and Subaru has not, she's not going to be the person to convince him, because he's already turned left when she turned right. And I think this perfectly escalates into the scene that we have next, where he ultimately tries to attack her, but Kamugi ends up risking it all. And we have this very painful inverted color sequence of Kamugi getting shot down. And then I was like, oh my god, please don't turn back into a dog. I just watched the transformation sequence. It's quite long. After a while, I was like, please don't make me watch it one more time. But no, for reals, we have the sad thing where it's like, if I didn't know that this is a Precure series and that she was immediately gonna resurrect, I would have been way more upset. I did tug at my heartstrings though. When I will say, Friendy started crying and I was like, oh, I'm feeling something. And then the girls came and I was like, oh, maybe I'm feeling something. I think I really lost it though when this is what ultimately shakes Subaru. I love that out of everything, he has not really regretted his actions. He's been so deep in his revenge. But seeing Kamugi try to protect Iroha in the way that Gao protected him, and then him being like, I've ruined everything. Everything's my fault. In truth, I've actually blamed myself the whole time. Is such a, hardcore moment that I was like, ooh, this does cut deep. Like, this is technically speaking the lowest point that we're probably going to get, especially with the way next episode is looking. This is going to be the darkest moment in terms of the finale, and the same way in other seasons we may have had a character turn into an evil version of themselves, and prior seasons may have had a moment where everybody, where maybe the universe has been completely destroyed and we have to, stand up. So I feel like the drama for this is it doesn't hit the same level of deep that other seasons do, but I feel like it's fine for this, because other seasons, they have different scopes and scales for what they're doing. In other seasons, the world is the stake. The universe is at stake. This is a season where it's really just Animal Town. This is not really permeated past Animal Town. And the pain and problems that our characters are going through, especially Subaru, is completely personal. And so for the Kamugi to be the only one who kind of ultimately hits rock bottom here, and that's what shakes the villain, I think really works for this season. I feel like it still manages to have me emotionally going, ooh, without having the same level of stakes that we've seen in other seasons, and I really like the writing for that. Also, jump scare with the guns. I was like, whoa, a gun? In Precure, I was totally misunderstanding what time period the past was occurring in, because I was like, maybe they, threw a pitchfork at him. But I guess it's easier to make it less gory if it's a gun, because then you can just, do the magical, gunshot instead of doing, a realistic shot with, blood and gore, and it's a little bit harder with a pitchfork, because then you have to, resort to using shadows or something. So, whoa, gun jump scare. And again, I love the parallels with our villains. I feel like that's what some seasons have missed historically with some of the finales. I'm mostly going to be picking on Delicious Party right here, where it's like, it's a cool story, but it feels too divorced from our core team. It feels like they're very irrelevant to what's going on, where it's like, there's a really good story happening, and then there's also Precure 5 feet away. So I'm very satisfied with how this is all tying up and paralleling. I feel like it was very well written. And then we finally, like, see, like, we've already had this ugly finalish form, but now it's gonna go berserker mode, which, like, you know, raises the stakes in a way where we may not see all the cures get KO'd and then have to, like, you know, rally together for the final fight, but we get other stuff. We get other presents. I also just love this shot of, like, Sakura saving Iroha, but Iroha still holding on to a KO'd Komugi. It's very, like, the animation's nice. Mind you, this is a lot of the really pretty sequences in here are done by Yoshiyama Yu. We get treats this episode in the Sakuga department. Now we have this, like, metaphysical world that we've seen Komugi in before, back when we were at the, I believe it was the festival episode, where Komugi had first heard the howling of a wolf. And I assume this dream sequence is probably, again, the wonderful pact in, like, a dream metaphysical alternate reality kind of deal. And we see that she's like, oh, that howl I heard, that was not Subaru. It was Gao, because it was different. And we see the ghost of Gao, I guess, again, has just been chilling in the Wonderful Pact or something. Which, mind you, I like the implication that Gao probably was the one who really helped Komugi become a cure in the first place. You know, all the other moments, like, the Mirror Stones very conveniently got located to the characters throughout the show, and I'd like to think that, like, Gao might have done a little help in there, but we'll find out. I will say I was kind of annoyed that he just has ground noises. He doesn't actually, like, have a voice actor and doesn't talk. I'm like, I get it, but also it feels like a disservice. Please let this guy have a voice actor. But Komugi ultimately resurrects, or really just wakes up, and she's like, oh my god, girl, you won't even believe what just happened. And Iroha's like, oh, you're alive? Very, very Komugi and Iroha moment, which is what we have to have in a finale. And then she transforms back. Thank God we don't have to watch the stock footage. Thank you. And looking real cool as we now officially go into the final fight. And then we also get to see the final egg, I guess. Like, I think they just made this egg-shaped to be like, remember how, like, you know, all the evil's in an egg and it's all that stuff? Callbacks. We love a throwback. And then the series gives me what I deserve. Alright, so, like, I will, like, on my bingo card of things that would make Nobilistia happy if they happened in the show, I do wish that they fought in their power-up forms. They don't give that to me. However, you all heard me last episode. You heard and I was given what I deserved. Me specifically asked for this real nice, and oh my god, I knew Daifuku's voice actor had a deep voice, and that was like a whole bit, and that's like a whole thing that the staff keeps talking about, but hearing it, like, for reals, since we can't see the movie yet. Which, by the way, I do need to, like, when the movie is accessible, I will try to make sure I review it. I have a really bad habit of, like, not watching the movies when they come out, and then, like, watching them 3 years later. I'm gonna try not to do that. I'm gonna try to watch the movie and review it, but that's beside the point. Anyways, my boys. Oh, it's so cool, and I'm just so happy. Like, here's Satoru, like, oh my god, what's going on? And then, oh my god, Daifuku's like, let's transform, bro! Like, and then Yoshiyama Yu, Queen, gives me so many good shots. So pretty. It's so well animated, and they both look so good. Look at them go. Look at them attack. Look at them fight. And they do precisely what they should have been doing the entire season, which is just being support. Like, see, all they did here was transform, grab some snakes, and then make a hole. Because rabbits are really good at burrowing. I'm sure that's probably it. But, like, this is all they needed to do. This is all that ever needed to be done. They've done it the whole time. Like, we've had so many shield characters who all they have to do is, like, stun the enemy, and they're like, alright, main team, you finish them off. That's all these guys had to do. Whatever, they're here. Let me enjoy. I'll just enjoy them now. I have them now. I will enjoy them. Look at them go. Look at them being supportive. Thank you. I love you too. And then we see the slightly less ugly version. I like this. There's been a lot of cocooning that has occurred in seasons with the final boss where they have like multiple looks. A la like Go Princess, I know, had a lot of the final boss be like layered. And then our final forms also be layered. Sadly, our final forms are not layered here, but that's okay. I love that he looks better here than he did in his stupid little clown design. He genuinely, like, has become a wolf, living his furry dreams, and, like, is trying to fight against his own, like, frustration and anger that's been manifested, and they kind of fight around in the internal egg with it. And it's pretty good. And I love that, again, I feel like it fits this season. Normally, I would prefer the drama for a finale, but we had so many like dramatic episodes prior to this finale that I do like this kind of sweeter moment where Komugi is like, yo, listen up! Listen up! Hey, buddy, hey. Gao wouldn't like you doing this. Like, as somebody who is, again, all about the parallels, Komugi, aka Wonderful, is so... like, she is the embodiment of Gao, like, for what her relationship with Iroha is. She's like, hey, I'm a dog. Dogs are like wolves. I love my owner, and I would never want to see her going down the path of vengeance. I don't want to see you going down the path of vengeance, so don't sit here and eat me. I like this little marshmallow look that she has where she's like, hey, hold up. Before you try to crunch on me like Halloween candy, hear me out. Gao wouldn't want this. Gao loves you. I do wish Gao's spirit kind of came in here, but I feel like that also would take away from Komugi being the one who solves the problem, which again, I feel like this is what I wanted. I wanted Wonderful to be the one to finally convince him. To be like, that guy needs a hug, because you know what I need when I feel bad? A hug. And it's beautiful. And it's really lovely. And it's just so sweet. And she is little strawberry on top for this whole cake of happiness. And he's like, oh my god, I've been purified. I'm feeling the love. And like, you even see here, like, in all seriousness, you see the tear come down and everything, and him realizing, and like, getting rid of this anguish of like, combination of revenge and self-hatred that's all packaged in here. And we kind of feel this not quite, like, generational trauma, but clearly, like, historic trauma going on here. And then we have this really cool sequence where Nico-sama gets to show up again, but like now she's like fully involved, so it's like a little bit more special than usual. I kind of wish it wasn't fully stock footagey here, but we do get to see each of them like open up with like a hug, which is very cute. And I hope that when we go into the next episode, the first few minutes we get to see them still in these forms and it doesn't immediately go back to them being human and normal. Also, it'd be really cute to see like a power-up friendy hug a powered up Satoru. Just saying, that would be pretty adorable. Or like somebody gives like Daifuku like a fist bump that he deserves. I would love that next episode. Please and thank you. But also we leave on this note where now that he's kind of like calmed down, it seems that he gets the honor of talking to the spirit of Gao. It also could pull that thing where it's like, I was here the whole time, you were just blinded by rage. They could go that path. But nonetheless, now it is time to acknowledge that we have one more episode to go. And honestly, I feel like I would be much sadder coming to the conclusion of this if I didn't know that I was immediately going to do Idol Precure the next week. But you know, I'm getting kind of emotional. I have done 49 episodes of this, and several of you have followed the journey with me, which I really, really, really appreciate. I'm gonna do some little extra special stuff when we get to the final episode. Also, please leave your predictions for the final episode down below. I mean, our preview did not showcase Pure Idol being in the next episode, but I feel like she's gonna be there. This heinous little screenshot was part of the preview for the next episode, which is giving me a farewell vibe. All I'm gonna say is that they better politely have the animals lose their ability to transform into humans, and we cry for like 5 minutes, and then they're like, JK, they can turn back into humans because it's Animal Town, and Nico-sama has no reason not to give them that ability. Yeah. I don't know how, but it's Precure. There's no reason we can't cheese the rules because we were able to resurrect the dead. So, let it happen. Give this to me. It's what I deserve. Nonetheless, I will see you guys one last time in the next episode. Bye-bye!